I've been thinking about this, and we were talking about it before the show also in the other room. I think it's a fair thing to bring up. I've said a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, this is the second Sunday in February. This is what Patrick Mahomes does. The second Sunday in February. Puts his uniform on and he goes and plays a game. Brock Purdy, on the other hand, the second Sunday in February has always been either him as a high school or college football player watching the Super Bowl, or, as it was last year, hanging out with a sling around his arm and probably consulting with doctors. And now he shows up. What's the number? Is it like 75 million? Is that how many people watch the Super Bowl just on the broadcast alone? What is about to happen this Sunday is going to be among the most watched pieces of content in the history of our country, partially because of the label that we have put around his neck. Mr. Irrelevant, Disney film in the making. Do we get to make the movie at the end of this Sunday or not? And oh, by the way, the only thing in your way is potentially the greatest quarterback of all time, certainly the greatest that we have today, the city of Vegas for the first time ever, the largest fan base in the NFL, which will show up to this game in full, the pressure, the eyeballs, the intrigue. You cannot turn the dial higher. And we've all convinced ourselves that this 23-year-old kid is just going to be fine. Fine. By the way, he has looked very wobbly the last two times we've seen him in the playoffs.
Dude, it's a real thing. By the way, not to correct you, 113.6 million is what they're projecting to watch the game.
So I undersold
that was last year, and I
hardcore.
think with this year, with the Taylor Swift audience, it might reach 200.
It's gonna be,
Yeah.
And that doesn't even, does that measure like social media and what happens after the fact? And I'm underselling it big time. Yes, this will be, in terms of what we know about American content, this will be one of the most consumed things that has ever happened in the history of our country. And we're just like, you got this, Brock. Like,
so here's the thing. Like,
really?
If I'm Kyle Shanahan, I need to turn it into another football game for Brock Purdy quick. Because when you're in big games, you have to have success early to make it just another game.
Yes.
And if you have failures early, all of a sudden you start thinking that hamster wheel in your brain just starts going, oh my God, like I'm on the Super Bowl and there's 200 million people watching.
Christmas
Taylor
night.
Swift's in a box
Christmas
seat. She
night,
flew all the way from Japan. Like you start to think of weird things and your mind starts going. So in my experiences in big games, successes early relax you and make it normal. And the sooner Brock Purdy can be playing a football game, just another football game, cliche, right? And not the Super Bowl, is how he'll have success. Patrick Mahomes is playing another football game.
Right.
He's just playing another game because he's been there, done as a business trip. I know this function over here, screw that. I got to do a press conference over here. I've done that. And you know, we're here, we're on a mission. We've done this before. Or maybe some of the Niners guys are looking around and saying, we're going to enjoy this for a couple of days. Some of them have said as much. But the quicker that Brock Purdy, at 24 years old, in his first ever Super Bowl, can make it another football game, meaning having successes early, the first drive, the first couple of passes, not have the white Michael Jackson glove on, not doing weird things that he hasn't done all season long, but just low-risk stuff. Move the ball, get your confidence, and all of a sudden it becomes another game. When you talk to players, Mark, they say it's a very corporate atmosphere.
It really is.
This won't be. This is going to be red butts in the seats.
That's actually a good point.
There's going to be red butts in the seats. This should be a home game for the Niners.
Somebody did. I went on a station like 3 or 4 days ago, and they asked me, when your favorite team is in the Super Bowl, which it is, when your favorite team is in the Super Bowl, would you rather be there or would you rather be on your couch? And I was like, this answer might grab you, but like I think I'd rather be on my couch. This is going to sound snooty, but I've been to Super Bowls before, and they're not really what you think.
No.
Now, I've never been to a Super Bowl where the Niners have been playing in it.
I have.
So maybe you can tell me a thing or two about that. But being at the Super Bowl is a very odd experience. There are no other sporting events like this. The breaks are insanely long. The environment is corporate, so noise is coming from certain sections of the stadium only when a good thing happens for a specific team. There's no home environment, and everybody, almost everybody there has given up somewhere between $5,000 and bajillion dollars in order to be sitting there. And that's not, I'm going to pull my shirt off and put the letter B on my stomach and shake my moneymaker. That's not that fan. And so the whole thing just feels disconnected sometimes when you're there. The story I love to share is that I was in the media seats when Justin Timberlake grabbed the thing off of Janet Jackson's chest. I was the last one to know. I didn't even know. I had to get text messages later where they're like, did you see that? And I'm like, did I see what? Because what I saw was something that looked like the size of a dime about a mile away down on the field with pyrotechnics and all of this going on. It's just kind of like whatever.
I think it was the size of a dime on TV, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Maybe a quarter. Sorry, Lucas. The live stream's starting in an hour.
3:30. Wait.
It's starting. Anyway, yeah, it's different. It's different. So I don't know. When you're there and the Niners are in it, was it fun?
I mean, it was fun just to check that box.
Right.
I've never been to a Super Bowl. That's the only one I've ever been to, and it was in Miami, and I have a lot of friends that I went to school down there, so I had a connection, and had Niners fly down from D.C., check it out, and it was just neat to see what the Super Bowl is all about. But it is very corporate. It's not like a raucous college crowd or like going to Levi's for a playoff game where the Niner fans were as loud as ever in the NFC Championship. Maybe it'll be like that this year, though.
Maybe.
And I'm a little opposite to you, Mark. I like to be somewhere in the middle. Like I don't have to go to the Super Bowl. I had an opportunity to go this year, and I decided no. I had buddies renting an RV, driving to L.A.
What does that mean? I had an opportunity to go. Does that mean a free ticket?
No. That means I was going to wait till the last second and try to get one for $5,000, and I can't afford that right now. So I said no.
All right.
So yeah, but they're going to be rumbling down I-5 to L.A. in an RV, and then going from L.A. to Vegas and do that trip.
Sounds fun.
I don't know if I have that in me. So somewhere between sitting on the couch, I need to get some atmosphere for the game. I do. So I have to be out with the people somewhere.
I hear you.
And I'm excited that if the Niners do pull this off, and I think it's going to be a who knows? I'm not going to say it. Who knows? I want to be a man of the streets here in the city. I live in the city. I want to celebrate. I'm not going to burn stuff, but like I want to feel the atmosphere if they pull this off in the city. Whereas if you're in Vegas, yeah, there's going to be a lot of Niner fans. They'll be cool. But like if you're in the city, we're in San Francisco. Coit Tower is red and gold. Like all the buildings are lit up.
I can already tell 49er fans, if you're going to the game, when the game ends, win or lose, you want to know what you're going to do? You're going to stand. And you're going to stand there for a really long time. I've been to Allegiant Stadium one time, Niners-Raiders last year, New Year's Day. Tons of fun, but here's one thing I can tell you. That stadium's beautiful. They did an incredible job. The only thing that stunk was getting out of there because there's really no parking lot. There's no driving. There's no people heading to their cars where you can get into your car, and the slow departure from the parking lot is kind of okay because you're in your car and you're listening to the radio. Well, me and my lovely Christy come out of that thing, and everybody just wants to walk to Las Vegas Boulevard, which is right over the freeway bridge, and it is the biggest example of gridlock, human individual gridlock. People are trying to get Ubers. You can't, and you just have to. So, like, that whole, like, let's spill out onto the streets and go crazy, I'm almost worried for it because it's just going to be drunk people, fans of both teams, shoulder to shoulder, looking at each other like, how long is it going to take to get over to the Luxor or whatever? So
you're not going to like soak in the vibe if they win in the city. Like just go down to maybe the marina or something to see everybody out on the streets having a good time.
No.
Hashtag no Jay.
There's still discussion going on about exactly how we're going to bring this in, but it's not going to be with a lot of people. I already know that. It's not going to be with a lot of people.